Your soulmate is younger, but madly in love with you. Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you, and before your mind jumps in with questions or doubts, pause right here, because your heart needs this right now. And the reason these words are landing so deeply is because the universe has been trying to get your attention in quieter ways first, through feelings you couldn't explain, through moments of sudden awareness, through a sense that someone is emotionally connected to you even when nothing obvious is happening. And listen closely, because this isn't fantasy, this isn't coincidence, this is alignment revealing itself slowly, intentionally, and divinely. And this message is for you if you've felt that subtle pull lately, that gentle but persistent awareness that someone younger than you is holding you in their heart in a way that feels reverent, not reckless, steady, not impulsive. And don't scroll, listen to this. Because the universe does not interrupt your timeline without purpose, and it slowed you down right now because there's something you're meant to remember about yourself, something you forgot while surviving, something about your magnetism, your wisdom, your softness, your presence. And your heart needs this right now because part of you has quietly wondered if you're still seen, still desired, still capable of being loved in a way that doesn't cost you your peace. And listen to this truth: you are more than you realize. And the reason your soulmate is younger is not about age, it's about renewal, it's about balance, it's about two souls meeting at the same emotional frequency even if their timelines look different on paper. And don't scroll, listen to this, because souls don't recognize each other by years, they recognize each other by energy. And your energy has shifted, softened, deepened, matured through experience. And that is exactly what awakened something in them. And this message is for you because to this younger soul, you feel like clarity, like grounding, like the calm they didn't know was possible in love. And your heart needs this right now because you may have underestimated how powerful your presence has become, how the way you listen makes people feel safe, how your steadiness speaks louder than charm, how your authenticity cuts through noise. And listen closely, because this connection did not start with attraction, it started with recognition, that moment when one soul senses another and thinks, "This feels familiar," even without history. And don't scroll, listen to this, because familiarity without memory is one of the strongest signs of a soulmate connection, and the universe has been confirming this to you through signs you may have brushed off at first. The repeating numbers that show up when you think of them: 11. 11 when your thoughts drift, 222 when doubt creeps in, 444 when you feel calm but curious. Those are angel numbers, spiritual markers saying pay attention, this is aligned. And your heart needs this right now because you've learned not to rush love, not to chase it, not to force clarity. And that patience is not delaying this connection, it's protecting it. And listen, this message is for you because the younger soul here does not admire you because they need you, they admire you because you inspire them, because you represent emotional truth, stability, and growth. And don't scroll, listen to this, because being admired for who you are, not what you give, is something you haven't always experienced. And your heart needs this right now because you've spent years being strong, being responsible, being the one others leaned on. And the universe is reminding you that you are also allowed to be desired, cherished, chosen, without carrying anyone. And listen closely, because the love forming here is not loud, it doesn't announce itself with drama. It reveals itself through consistency, through respect, through restraint. And don't scroll, listen to this, because restraint is not lack of interest, it's care, it's someone understanding that what they feel matters enough not to rush. And your heart needs this right now because care has been missing from love for you longer than you realized. And listen, This message is for you because spiritually, you are both awakening at the same time. Even if you're at different stages in life, an awakening often feels like heightened intuition, emotional clarity, a desire for peace over chaos, and if you've noticed yourself becoming more selective, more grounded, more aware of what you will and won't tolerate, that's not coincidence, that's preparation. And don't scroll, listen to this, because the universe does not bring soulmate connections into chaos. It brings them into clarity, and your heart needs this right now because clarity feels unfamiliar when you've lived in survival mode. And listen closely, because this connection will challenge you in a new way, not by causing pain, but by asking you to trust calm, to trust something that doesn't trigger your old fears. And don't scroll, listen to this, because peace can feel suspicious when chaos used to feel like passion, and your heart needs this right now because you're learning the difference. And listen, this message is for you because the universe is not asking you to jump, it's asking you to stay present, to observe how this connection feels in your body, how your breath softens instead of shortens, how your shoulders drop instead of tense. And don't scroll, listen to this, because your body recognizes safety before your mind allows belief, and your heart needs this right now because safety is the foundation of lasting love. And listen closely, because the reason this younger soulmate feels drawn to you is also because you no longer chase validation, you no longer over-explain, you no longer abandon yourself to be chosen, and that self-respect is magnetic. And don't scroll, listen to this, because the universe responds to self-respect by sending love that honors it, and your heart needs this right now because you are no longer meant to learn through heartbreak, you are meant to learn through alignment. And listen, this message is for you because the signs will continue, not to tease you, but to reassure you, and soon they will become less subtle, not overwhelming, but undeniable. And don't scroll, listen to this, because part 1 is not here to give you the whole story, it's here to ground you in truth, to remind you that you are still magnetic, still worthy, still deeply capable of inspiring love, and your heart needs this right now because what's unfolding is not accidental, it's guided, protected, and timed. And listen carefully to this final moment, because the universe is not finished speaking, and what comes next will move from feeling to form, from energy to reality, and when it does, you'll understand why this had to begin quietly, why it had to grow slowly, and why your soulmate being younger was never a complication, it was part of the divine design. Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you, and if you felt a deep exhale as soon as you started reading, that's because your heart needs this right now and the universe is meeting you exactly where you are, not where you pretend to be, not where you think you should be, but right here, in this quiet awareness that something real is unfolding beneath the surface of your life. And listen closely, because this part is about confirmation, not excitement, not fantasy, but divine confirmation, the kind that settles your nervous system instead of activating your fear. And this message is for you if you've been seeing divine numbers more frequently lately, numbers that seem to follow your thoughts, your emotions, your questions, like 111 showing up when you think about new beginnings or when their name crosses your mind unexpectedly, 222 appearing when you start doubting whether this connection makes sense, whether the age difference matters, whether you should shut it down before it gets deeper, and 333 appearing when your emotions feel heightened, when your heart feels open but cautious, because those numbers are not random, they are signals, they are the universe speaking in patterns when words would feel too direct. And don't scroll, listen to this, because divine numbers show up when alignment is happening faster than the mind can process. And your heart needs this right now because part of you has been trying to stay logical, to stay grounded, to not read into things, but your soul already knows what's happening, and listen carefully, because the younger soulmate connected to you is not approaching this from impulse or curiosity. They are being guided too, they are seeing their own signs, feeling their own confirmations, experiencing their own awakening, and the universe has been synchronizing both of your journeys in ways you can't yet see. And don't scroll, listen to this. Because synchronization doesn't feel loud at first, it feels like subtle alignment, like thinking of each other at the same time, like conversations that linger energetically even after they end, like a sense of comfort that doesn't fade when you're apart. And your heart needs this right now because comfort has not always been part of love for you, and the universe is reteaching you what love can feel like when it's divinely guided instead of fear-driven. And listen, this message is for you because the age difference here is not a test, it's a symbol. It represents balance between wisdom and renewal, grounding and curiosity, stability and openness. And don't scroll, listen to this, because balance is what your soul has been craving, not intensity, not drama, not emotional highs and lows, but balance. And your heart needs this right now because you've lived long enough in emotional extremes to recognize peace when it arrives, even if peace feels unfamiliar at first. And listen carefully, because the divine numbers you keep seeing are also telling you something specific. 444 appears when protection is present, when the universe is saying, this connection is safe to explore slowly. 555 appears when change is approaching, when something that has lived in the energetic is preparing to move into the physical. And don't scroll, listen to this, because that movement does not require you to rush, it requires you to stay present. And your heart needs this right now because rushing is an old survival pattern, not intuition, and the universe is teaching you the difference gently, patiently, through signs instead of pressure. And listen, this message is for you because the younger soulmate is not trying to take your peace, they are responding to it, they are drawn to the way you carry yourself now, the way you no longer chase validation, the way you pause before reacting, the way you've learned to hold your emotions with compassion instead of judgment. And don't scroll, listen to this, because emotional maturity is magnetic, especially to someone who is awakening spiritually and looking for something real, something steady, something that doesn't require masks. And your heart needs this right now because you may still be questioning whether you deserve to be loved like this, whether it's okay to be admired without overgiving, whether it's safe to be desired without being needed. And listen to this truth, divine love does not need you to perform, it recognizes you. And don't scroll, listen to this, because recognition feels different from validation. Recognition feels like being seen without explanation, and your heart needs this right now because being seen has been rare for you. And listen carefully, because the universe has been slowing this connection down intentionally, not to frustrate you, but to protect it, to allow both of you to integrate your awakenings without old patterns interfering. And don't scroll, listen to this, because divine timing is not about delay, it's about readiness. And your heart needs this right now because readiness is not about having all the answers, it's about trusting yourself to navigate what unfolds. And listen, this message is for you because you are not being asked to abandon logic, you are being asked not to let fear disguise itself as logic. And don't scroll, listen to this, because fear has kept you safe before, but it cannot lead you forward now. And your heart needs this right now because the divine numbers are shifting from reassurance to invitation, inviting you to stay open, to stay aware, to notice how this connection feels in your body instead of how it looks on paper. And listen carefully, because your body is responding with calm, not tension, curiosity, not anxiety, warmth, not pressure, and don't scroll, listen to this, because that response is alignment, and your heart needs this right now because alignment doesn't shout, it whispers. And whispers are easy to miss if you're waiting for fireworks, and listen, this message is for you because the universe is not teasing you with signs, it's preparing you for movement, and movement doesn't always mean action right away, sometimes it means clarity settling in, sometimes it means emotional walls softening, sometimes it means allowing yourself to imagine a future without immediately bracing for loss. And don't scroll, listen to this, because allowing joy is harder than surviving pain. And your heart needs this right now because you are learning how to receive. Without flinching, and listen carefully, because the younger soulmate here is learning too, learning patience, learning reverence, learning that love doesn't have to rush to prove itself, and don't scroll, listen to this, because both of you are being guided, protected, and paced, and the divine numbers will continue until you no longer need them, until trust replaces doubt, and awareness replaces fear. And your heart needs this right now because soon the signs will shift from numbers to actions, from feelings to conversations, from energy to form, and listen closely, because when that happens, it will not feel overwhelming, it will feel natural, like something clicking into place that your soul has been expecting. And don't scroll, listen to this, because part 2 is not about revealing the ending, it's about anchoring you in the truth that what's unfolding is not accidental, not forced, not imagined. It's divinely guided, and your role right now is simple but powerful: stay present, stay open, stay grounded, and trust that the universe does not awaken love in your life unless it knows you are finally ready to hold it without losing yourself. Don't scroll, listen to this message is for you, and if you're still here, that's already a divine signal, because your heart needs this right now, and the universe does not keep speaking unless something is aligning faster than your mind can keep up with. So slow down with me for a moment and really hear this, because this part is where awareness turns into knowing, and knowing is different from hoping. Knowing settles into your body and quiets the questions, and this message is for you. If the signs haven't stopped, if the numbers keep appearing at the exact moments you're thinking about them, about this connection, about whether you're imagining it or not, because listen carefully, when you see 111, that is the universe opening a doorway. It's the signal of a new beginning that starts internally before it ever shows up in the physical. And your heart needs this right now because every time 111 appears while you're thinking about this younger soulmate, the universe is saying, yes, this path exists, even if you don't walk it yet. And don't scroll, listen to this, because 222 keeps showing up when you start doubting yourself, when you wonder if the age difference matters, if timing is off, if you should shut this down before it grows. And 222 is balance, it's alignment. It's the universe reminding you that two energies can meet in harmony even if they come from different chapters of life, and your heart needs this right now because balance is what you've been craving, not intensity, not chaos, not emotional whiplash. And listen closely, because when 333 appears, especially when your emotions feel tender or heightened, that is spiritual support, that is confirmation that you are not navigating this alone, that guides are present, that your intuition is awake, and that what you're feeling is not random. And don't scroll, listen to this, because spiritual awakenings often happen through connection, not isolation. And this younger soulmate is part of your awakening, not a distraction from it, and your heart needs this right now because you've worked hard to become who you are, and the universe is not undoing that work, it's responding to it. And listen carefully, because 444 has been appearing when you feel calm but curious, when you're not anxious but aware, and 444 is protection. It's the universe saying, this connection is being watched over. It's safe to let it unfold slowly, and don't scroll. Listen to this, because slow does not mean stagnant. Slow means intentional, and your heart needs this right now because rushing used to be how you survived, and now presence is how you thrive. And listen, this message is for you because 555 shows up when you sense change approaching, when you feel that something that has lived in the energetic is preparing to move into form. And 555 does not mean chaos, it means transformation. It means the old rules no longer apply, and your heart needs this right now because the old rules told you love had to look a certain way, come at a certain age, follow a certain script, and the universe is rewriting that script in real time. And don't scroll, listen to this, because this younger soulmate is not here to disrupt your peace. They are here because of it, because your calm, your boundaries, your emotional clarity have created a frequency that calls in something real. And your heart needs this right now because you may still be questioning whether it's okay to be admired like this, to be desired without being chased, to be loved without being needed. And listen to this truth, divine love does not need to prove itself loudly, it reveals itself quietly, through consistency, respect, and resonance. And don't scroll, listen to this, because resonance is what you feel when your body relaxes instead of braces, when your thoughts soften instead of spiral, when your intuition speaks calmly instead of urgently. And your heart needs this right now because your body is recognizing safety before your mind allows belief. And listen carefully, because the younger soulmate connected to you is also seeing these numbers, also feeling the pull, also sensing that this connection is different from anything they've experienced before, and the universe is mirroring your awakenings, aligning your readiness without forcing timing. And don't scroll, listen to this, because divine timing is not about delay, it's about coordination. And your heart needs this right now because coordination requires patience, and patience is something you've learned the hard way. And listen, this message is for you because the numbers are not just reassurance, they are instruction. They are inviting you to stay open without rushing, to trust without clinging, to observe without withdrawing. And don't scroll, listen to this, because those are new skills, and you've been developing them quietly, without applause, without validation. And your heart needs this right now because the universe is acknowledging that growth by sending you a connection that meets you where you are, not where you were. And listen carefully, because the reason this connection hasn't demanded clarity yet is because clarity that arrives before readiness collapses under fear, and divine clarity arrives when both people can hold it without panic. And don't scroll, listen to this, because you are closer to that moment than you think. And your heart needs this right now because the numbers will begin to change. When readiness becomes certainty, when signs turn into actions, when energy turns into words. And listen, this message is for you because the universe is not asking you to decide anything yet, it's asking you to trust the process you're already in. And don't scroll, listen to this, because trust does not mean ignoring red flags, it means not creating them where none exist. And your heart needs this right now because fear has been loud in your past, but it doesn't get to lead now. And listen carefully, because the divine numbers are your reminders, not to predict the future, but to anchor you in the present, where alignment is already happening. And don't scroll, listen to this, because the present is where miracles start quietly. And your heart needs this right now because what's unfolding between you and this younger soulmate is not meant to rush, not meant to confuse, not meant to drain you, it's meant to awaken you. And listen to this final moment carefully, because part 3 is not about giving you certainty, it's about strengthening your trust, trust in yourself, trust in your intuition, trust in the divine intelligence guiding this connection step by step, and don't scroll, listen to this, because when the next shift happens, it won't come as a shock, it will feel like confirmation of something you already knew deep down, long before the numbers ever appeared. Don't scroll, listen to this message is for you, and if you've reached this part, that alone is a sign because your heart needs this right now, and the universe does not keep pulling you forward unless something is unfolding that requires your awareness, not your effort, not your control, just your presence. So breathe with me for a moment and let this settle, because this part is about integration. About everything you've been feeling finally starting to make sense in your body, not just your mind, and listen closely, because when divine numbers keep appearing this consistently, it means you're no longer just being reassured, you're being prepared, and preparation feels different than excitement, it feels grounding, it feels sobering, it feels like clarity slowly replacing confusion, and this message is for you if 111 has been appearing when you wake up, when you check the time without thinking, when you feel that quiet hope rise in your chest, because 111 is the universe saying, a new chapter is already open, even if you haven't stepped fully into it yet, and don't scroll, listen to this, because 222 has been showing up when you hesitate, when you question whether this connection makes sense, whether the age difference matters, whether you should guard your heart a little more tightly, and 222 is balance, it's harmony, it's the reminder that alignment doesn't require sameness, it requires resonance, and your heart needs this right now because resonance is what you feel when something doesn't drain you, doesn't rush you, doesn't confuse you, and listen carefully, because 333 appears when emotions surface, when memories from the past try to whisper old fears into the present, when you wonder if you're repeating a pattern, and 333 is spiritual support, it's guidance saying, you are not doing this alone. It's reassurance that this connection is happening alongside your awakening, not against it, and don't scroll, listen to this, because awakenings often come when the heart is finally strong enough to stay open without losing itself, and your heart needs this right now because you have done the work, even if no one applauded you for it, and listen, this message is for you because 444 has likely been appearing when you feel calm, grounded, reflective, when you're not anxious but aware. And 444 is protection, it's the universe saying, this is being held. That nothing here is rushing into chaos, that this connection is surrounded by stability, patience, and intention, and don't scroll, listen to this, because protection doesn't mean nothing will challenge you, it means what challenges you will not break you, and your heart needs this right now because you've been broken before, and you survived, and now you're being guided towards something that doesn't require survival mode, and listen carefully, because 555 has been showing up when you sense movement, when you feel that something long held in the energetic is preparing to shift into the physical, and 555 is transformation, not destruction, it's the sign that the old rules no longer apply, that love no longer has to follow the scripts that once hurt you, and don't scroll, listen to this, because transformation asks you to stay flexible, to let go of rigid expectations, to allow something new to take shape without trying to control its form. And your heart needs this right now because control once felt like safety, and now trust is learning to take its place, and listen. This message is for you because the younger soulmate connected to you is not unaware of this shift, they are feeling it too, even if they can't articulate it yet, they are noticing the same numbers, the same synchronicities, the same sense that something meaningful is aligning slowly, deliberately, and don't scroll, listen to this, because divine alignment doesn't need constant interaction to grow. It deepens through mutual awareness, through respect, through space that feels intentional rather than distant. And your heart needs this right now because space used to feel like abandonment to you, and now it feels like breathing room. And listen carefully, because that shift alone tells you how much you've grown. And don't scroll, listen to this, because the universe is responding to that growth by bringing you a connection that does not demand urgency, does not trigger anxiety, does not pull you out of yourself. And your heart needs this right now because peace is the new signal, not intensity. And listen, this message is for you because the divine numbers are also reminding you of something subtle but important, that love aligned with your soul will never ask you to rush past your intuition, and if you felt guided to slow down, to observe, to stay present instead of projecting outcomes, that guidance is intentional. And don't scroll. Listen to this, because the universe does not rush soul connections. It allows them to mature until both people can meet without fear. Leading the conversation, and your heart needs this right now because fear has been loud in your past, and it kept you safe then, but it does not get to lead now. And listen carefully, because 666 may have appeared too, not as a warning, but as a reminder to return to balance, to check whether fear-based thinking is trying to pull you out of alignment. And don't scroll, listen to this, because 666 is often misunderstood. It's not about danger, it's about recalibration, about bringing your thoughts back into harmony with what your body and intuition are already telling you. And your heart needs this right now because overthinking has been your armor, and you no longer need it the same way. And listen, this message is for you because 777 appears when divine alignment is locked in, when things are unfolding exactly as they should even if you don't yet see the full picture. And 777 is a reminder that you are on the right path, that this connection is not distracting you from your purpose, it's walking alongside it. And don't scroll, listen to this, because purpose-aligned love feels supportive, not consuming, expansive, not limiting. And your heart needs this right now because you are no longer willing to shrink to be loved, and this connection does not ask you to. And listen carefully, because the universe is asking you to stay anchored in the present moment, not to rush ahead, not to replay the past, but to notice how this feels right now, how your body responds, how your breath moves, how your intuition speaks softly instead of shouting. And don't scroll, listen to this, because softness does not mean weakness, it means safety. And your heart needs this right now because safety is what allows love to grow without fear contaminating it. And listen, this message is for you because the divine numbers will not stop immediately, they will continue until you no longer need reassurance. Until trust replaces doubt, until awareness replaces anxiety. And don't scroll, listen to this, because that transition is already happening. And your heart needs this right now because soon the signs will shift from numbers to actions, from synchronicities to conversations, from energy to form. And when that happens, it will not feel sudden or overwhelming, it will feel natural, like something that has been preparing itself quietly finally stepping forward. And listen carefully to this final truth, because part 4 is not here to promise you an outcome, it's here to anchor you in alignment, to remind you that divine love unfolds with patience, protection, and purpose. And don't scroll, listen to this, because what's unfolding between you and this younger soulmate is not asking you to prove anything, it's asking you to trust what you already feel. And your heart needed this right now to remember that when the universe speaks this clearly, it's because you are finally ready to listen without fear. Don't scroll, listen to this, this message is for you, and if you feel that subtle heaviness mixed with calm settling into your chest right now, that's because your heart needs this right now, and the universe is asking you to slow down just enough to receive, not analyze, not predict, not defend, but receive, because this part is about embodiment. About letting what you already know sink fully into your nervous system instead of living only in your thoughts, and listen closely, because when divine numbers keep appearing at this stage, it means the universe is no longer just guiding you, it's stabilizing you, anchoring you into a new emotional frequency where love doesn't feel like risk but like resonance. And this message is for you if 111 has been showing up when you're quiet, when you're alone, when you're not even thinking about love consciously, because 111 at this stage is not a spark. It's a doorway that's already open. It's the universe saying, you don't have to search anymore. Alignment is already here, and your heart needs this right now because you spent so long believing love was something you had to earn, chase, or fix, and now the universe is asking you to stand still and notice how it's moving toward you instead, and don't scroll, listen to this, because 222 has been appearing when your mind tries to interfere, when you wonder if you're reading too much into this connection, if the age difference means imbalance, if you should shut your heart down before it gets too invested. And 222 is the divine reminder that balance doesn't mean sameness, it means harmony, it means two energies meeting without canceling each other out, and your heart needs this right now because harmony is what your body has been responding to, not adrenaline, not chaos, not emotional spikes, but calm presence, and listen carefully. Because 333 has likely shown up when emotions from the past resurface, when old memories try to rewrite the story, when fear whispers. This feels familiar, be careful, and 333 is spiritual support. It's the universe saying, this is not a repeat, this is a refinement, and don't scroll, listen to this, because refinement means you are not going backwards. You are integrating lessons without reliving pain, and your heart needs this right now because you've done too much healing to mistake awareness for fear, and listen. This message is for you because 444 has appeared during moments of grounded clarity, when you feel steady. When you're not obsessing, when you're simply aware, and 444 is protection, it's the universe placing structure around this connection, ensuring it unfolds with care, patience, and integrity, and don't scroll, listen to this, because protection does not mean stagnation, it means nothing here is allowed to grow in chaos, and your heart needs this right now because chaos once felt like passion to you, and now peace feels like truth. And listen carefully, because 555 shows up when you sense movement. When you feel something shifting beneath the surface, when you notice small changes in how you think, how you respond, how open you feel, and 555 is transformation, not destruction, it's the universe saying, you are entering a new way of experiencing love, one where the old rules no longer apply, and your heart needs this right now because the old rules taught you to brace, to prepare for loss, to expect inconsistency, and the universe is asking you to loosen that armor just enough to feel what safety actually feels like, and don't scroll, listen to this, because 666 may have appeared too, and this is important, because 666 is not a warning, it's recalibration, it's the universe saying, check your thoughts, asking you to notice when fear-based logic tries to pull you out of alignment, when your mind tries to sabotage peace because peace feels unfamiliar. And your heart needs this right now because you are learning that unfamiliar does not mean unsafe, and listen carefully, because 777 has appeared when you feel quiet confidence, when you sense that even if you don't know the outcome, you trust the process, and 777 is divine alignment locked in. It's confirmation that you are exactly where you're meant to be, that this connection is not distracting you from your purpose, it's aligning with it. And don't scroll, listen to this. Because purpose-aligned love does not consume you, it expands you, and your heart needs this right now because expansion feels different from attachment. And listen, this message is for you because the younger soulmate connected to you is also moving through these frequencies, also seeing signs, also feeling guided to slow down, to respect timing, to honor what they feel instead of rushing to define it. And don't scroll, listen to this, because divine connections often grow strongest in the unseen, in the spaces where nothing is forced, where intention matters more than immediacy, and your heart needs this right now. Because you are learning how to trust space without filling it with fear, and listen carefully, because the universe is asking you to notice how your body responds now, how your breathing is deeper, how your thoughts are less frantic, how your intuition feels steady instead of urgent. And don't scroll, listen to this, because urgency is not intuition, urgency is fear, and your heart needs this right now because intuition speaks calmly, patiently, clearly. And listen, this message is for you. Because the divine numbers are also reminding you that you are not responsible for controlling how this unfolds. Your role is not to chase clarity or force conversations. Your role is to stay present, to stay honest with yourself, to stay aligned with your own boundaries. And don't scroll, listen to this, because boundaries here are not walls, they are anchors. They keep you grounded while something real approaches. And your heart needs this right now because grounded love lasts, reactive love burns out. And listen carefully, because the universe is not asking you to lower your standards, it's responding to the ones you finally set. And don't scroll, listen to this, because standards are what signal readiness, not perfection, not fearlessness, but self-respect. And your heart needs this right now because self-respect is the frequency that calls in love that honors you. And listen, this message is for you because the divine numbers will begin to shift again soon, not disappear, but evolve, moving from reassurance into action, from signs into experiences, from subtlety into clarity. And don't scroll, listen to this, because when that happens, it will not feel overwhelming, it will feel natural, like something that has been building quietly finally stepping into view. And your heart needs this right now because you are not being asked to prepare for heartbreak, you are being prepared to receive. And listen carefully, because receiving is the hardest part after survival. And don't scroll, listen to this, because the universe does not awaken love in your life unless it knows you are strong enough to hold it without losing yourself. And your heart needs this right now to remember that strength doesn't always look like endurance, sometimes it looks like openness. And listen to this final moment carefully, because part 5 is not here to promise you an ending, it's here to ground you in trust, trust in your intuition, trust in divine timing, trust in the fact that when the universe keeps sending the same signs with increasing clarity, it's because you are already standing in the doorway of something real, and all that's being asked of you now is to stay present, stay aligned, and let love meet you where you are, without fear leading the way. Don't scroll, listen to this message is for you, and if you feel that quiet steadiness settling in your chest right now, that's because your heart needs this right now and the universe is guiding you into the final stretch of awareness where doubt loosens its grip and trust starts to feel natural instead of forced. So stay with me, because this part is about embodiment turning into direction, about the signs no longer just reassuring you but gently orienting you toward what's next without pushing you. And listen closely, because when divine numbers keep appearing at this phase, It means the universe is calibrating your timing with precision, not urgency, and this message is for you if 111 keeps showing up at moments of stillness, early mornings, late nights, quiet pauses. Because 111 here is not a spark, it's alignment activated, it's the signal that a new beginning is already underway internally, even if the outer world hasn't caught up yet, and your heart needs this right now because internal beginnings are the most fragile and the most sacred, and the universe protects them by moving quietly. And don't scroll, listen to this. Because 222 keeps appearing when you question whether to lean in or hold back, whether balance means distance or presence, and 222 is harmony. It's the reminder that leaning in doesn't mean losing yourself and holding back doesn't mean closing your heart, it means staying centered while allowing connection to breathe, and your heart needs this right now because you've learned the hard way that extremes exhaust you, and what you're being offered now is steadiness, and listen carefully, because 333 arrives when emotions rise, nostalgia, tenderness, vulnerability. Especially when you wonder if this connection mirrors something from the past, and 333 is divine support, it's reassurance that this is not a repeat, it's a refinement, that your spiritual awakening has given you new tools to navigate familiar feelings with unfamiliar wisdom. And don't scroll, listen to this, because awakenings don't erase emotion, they teach you how to hold it without being ruled by it. And your heart needs this right now because you're doing that beautifully, even if you don't give yourself credit for it. And listen, this message is for you because 444 has been appearing when you feel grounded, when you're calm but aware, when you're not chasing signs but noticing them, and 444 is protection. It's the universe saying, this path is supported, that nothing here is being rushed or manipulated, that the pace itself is part of the design. And don't scroll, listen to this. Because protection doesn't remove choice, it strengthens discernment, and your heart needs this right now because discernment is what keeps your peace intact while allowing love to approach. And listen carefully, because 555 shows up when you sense movement, small shifts, subtle changes, a readiness you can't explain. And 555 is transformation in motion. It's the sign that what has lived in the energetic is preparing to express itself in real ways, not all at once, not dramatically, but clearly, and your heart needs this right now because transformation doesn't always announce itself with fireworks. Sometimes it feels like relief, like a gentle exhale after holding your breath for too long. And don't scroll, listen to this. Because 666 may be appearing as well, and this matters, because 666 is recalibration. Not fear, it's the universe asking you to check your thoughts, to notice when old narratives try to convince you that peace is boring or that love must be proven through struggle, and your heart needs this right now because those narratives kept you safe once, but they cannot guide you forward anymore. And listen carefully, because 777 appears when you feel that quiet confidence, that sense that even without answers, you're exactly where you're meant to be, and 777 is alignment confirmed. It's the universe saying, stay the course, that this connection, especially with a younger soulmate, does not distract from your purpose, it walks alongside it. And don't scroll, listen to this, because purpose-aligned love doesn't pull you away from yourself, it deepens you into yourself, and your heart needs this right now because you've spent years learning who you are, and this connection honors that learning. And listen, this message is for you because 888 may be showing up now too, often overlooked, but powerful, because 888 is reciprocity, it's balanced exchange. It's the sign that what you give and what you receive are finally coming into harmony, and your heart needs this right now because you've been the giver for so long, and the universe is shifting the scales gently, intentionally, so you don't have to overextend to be loved. And don't scroll, listen to this, because the younger soulmate connected to you is also feeling this recalibration, also being guided to move with care, to honor timing, to approach with respect rather than impulse, and this mutual restraint is not distance, it's devotion handled wisely, and your heart needs this right now because devotion that doesn't demand is something you've rarely experienced. And listen carefully, because the numbers are not asking you to decide anything yet, they are asking you to stay embodied, to notice how your body responds when you think of this person, how your shoulders relax, how your breath slows, how your mind quiets. And don't scroll, listen to this, because embodiment is the clearest signal of alignment, and your heart needs this right now because your body remembers safety even when your mind is cautious. And listen, this message is for you because the universe is moving from reassurance to readiness, and readiness here does not mean certainty, it means capacity, the capacity to receive without bracing, to stay open without abandoning boundaries, to allow love to approach without fear leading the conversation. And don't scroll, listen to this, because fear once protected you, but it cannot lead you now, and your heart needs this right now because leadership has shifted from fear to awareness. And listen carefully, because awareness doesn't rush, it observes, it responds, it chooses intentionally, and this is the energy surrounding this connection. And don't scroll, listen to this, because soon the signs will shift again, not disappear, but change form. From numbers to moments, from synchronicities to conversations, from subtle energy to tangible steps. And when that happens, it won't feel sudden, it will feel earned, like something that had to be prepared for rather than chased. And your heart needs this right now because you are not being tested, you are being trusted, trusted to stay present, trusted to honor your intuition, trusted to let something real unfold without forcing it into an old mold. And listen carefully to this final truth, because part 6 is not about predicting outcomes, it's about anchoring you in stability, reminding you that when the universe keeps sending clear, consistent signs with increasing calm, it's because you are no longer meant to survive love, you are meant to experience it. And don't scroll, listen to this, because experiencing love requires courage of a different kind, the courage to receive. And your heart needs this right now to remember that you are ready, you are aligned, and whatever comes next will meet you with the same care, patience, and respect that the universe has been teaching you to give yourself. Don't scroll, listen to this message is for you, and if you're still here, that's already a divine confirmation, because your heart needs this right now, and the universe does not bring you this far unless you're ready to complete a cycle, not end something, but integrate it. And this part is about embodiment becoming certainty, about the signs no longer needing to chase you because you've learned how to recognize them without fear. So take a breath with me and really feel this, because what's happening now is subtle but final in a powerful way. And listen closely, because when divine numbers appear at this stage, they're no longer just guiding you, they're sealing alignment. And this message is for you if 111 keeps showing up in moments of stillness, moments where you're not asking questions, not seeking answers, just being, because 111 here means the new beginning is no longer coming, it's already active, it's running quietly in the background of your life. And your heart needs this right now because you no longer need proof to believe what you feel. And don't scroll, listen to this, because 222 may still be appearing, but now it feels calming instead of reassuring, and 222 at this stage means harmony is stabilizing, It means the connection between you and this younger soulmate is no longer fluctuating energetically, it's settling into balance. And your heart needs this right now because balance feels safe, and safety no longer scares you the way it once did. And listen carefully, because 333 might show up when emotion rises unexpectedly, not fear, but tenderness, gratitude, even quiet joy, and 333 here is spiritual companionship. It's the reminder that you are supported as you allow yourself to feel without guarding, and don't scroll, listen to this, because allowing yourself to feel fully is the final layer of healing. And your heart needs this right now because you spent years numbing just enough to survive, and now you're learning how to stay open without bleeding. And listen, this message is for you because 444 appears now not as protection from danger, but as confirmation of foundation. It's the universe saying, this is built on something real, something steady, something that doesn't need to be rushed to be valid. And don't scroll, listen to this, because foundations matter more than fireworks. And your heart needs this right now because you've learned that excitement without stability burns out, and stability without excitement grows deep roots. And listen carefully, because 555 may still appear, but differently now, not as disruption, but as embodiment of change. It's the universe saying, this shift has already happened within you, and your heart needs this right now because you're no longer preparing for transformation, you're living inside it. And don't scroll, listen to this, because 666 might surface briefly when old thoughts try to test you, when the mind wonders if peace will last, if love always disappears. And 666 here is simply a reminder to return to center, to choose alignment over old fear narratives. And your heart needs this right now because fear no longer defines your choices, it informs them and then steps aside. And listen carefully, because 777 shows up now with a quiet confidence, often when you feel grounded and clear without needing answers. And 777 is divine alignment locked in. It's the universe saying, you're exactly where you're meant to be, and that includes this younger soulmate connection, not as a distraction, not as a detour, but as something woven into your path intentionally. And don't scroll, listen to this, because 888 may be appearing more often now, especially when you think about giving and receiving. And 888 is balanced exchange. It's the sign that love no longer requires sacrifice of self, that reciprocity is available to you now. And your heart needs this right now because you've been the one who carried more, gave more, waited more, and the universe is restoring balance gently, not abruptly. And listen, this message is for you because 999 may have appeared too quietly, subtly, and 999 is completion, not loss. It's the closing of an old way of relating to love, where fear led, where doubt spoke louder than intuition, where survival overshadowed joy. And don't scroll, listen to this, because completion does not mean something ends. It means something no longer has power over you, and your heart needs this right now because you are not waiting for love anymore, you are standing in readiness. And listen carefully, because readiness feels calm, not urgent, steady, not desperate, present, not predictive. And don't scroll, listen to this, because the universe has noticed how you respond now, how you don't rush to define, how you don't chase clarity at the expense of peace, how you allow things to unfold while staying rooted in yourself. And your heart needs this right now because that self-trust is what anchors everything else. And listen, this message is for you because the younger soulmate connected to you is also stepping into this final alignment, also feeling the shift from anticipation to presence, from longing to grounded awareness. and this mutual grounding is what makes the next phase possible without chaos. And don't scroll, listen to this, because chaos is not destiny, chaos is misalignment. And what you're experiencing now is alignment becoming sustainable, and your heart needs this right now because sustainability is what you've always wanted, even if you once mistook intensity for depth. And listen carefully, because the divine numbers will begin to appear less frequently soon, not because guidance is gone, but because trust has replaced the need for constant reassurance. And don't scroll, listen to this, because that transition is sacred. It means you're no longer being guided step by step. You're walking in alignment naturally, and your heart needs this right now because walking in alignment feels empowering instead of frightening. And listen, this message is for you because the final movement of this connection will not arrive with drama, it will arrive with clarity, not sudden, but inevitable, like something that was always meant to find its place. And don't scroll, listen to this, because inevitability does not rush, it arrives when resistance is gone. And your heart needs this right now because resistance has softened, fear has loosened, and awareness has taken the lead. And listen carefully, because part 7 is not about predicting what happens next, it's about grounding you in who you are now, someone who can hold love without losing themselves, someone who can trust calm, someone who no longer confuses peace with absence. And don't scroll, listen to this, because that is the miracle here, not the age difference, not the timing, not the signs, but the fact that you are finally ready to receive love that meets you as an equal, and your heart needed this right now to remember that when the universe speaks this gently, this consistently, this clearly, it's because you are no longer being prepared, you are being trusted, and what comes next will not need signs to convince you, it will feel like recognition, certainty, and home all at once.